Hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's Make and Take. Okay, so you guys, this week our Make and Take is so stinking cute. We are making an adorable gnome and mushroom garland. Now, because this paper color that we're going to be using is similar in color to my background, I'm going to lay down this piece of black here, so that way we can actually see it a little bit better and it's a little bit easier to see our ideas and the instructions. So what we're going to do here is we have all of our amazing bits and pieces. Now, I pre-traced all of like the little gnome beards and all the little stems and the little mushroom tops all on these pieces of paper. And while I know it's maybe not your most favorite thing in the world, we are going to cut out all of these little bits and pieces because this is how this craft goes. But it is so cute. I think you guys are going to have a great time. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have our little mushroom tops. I have pre-punched all of the little holes for the little mushrooms. I really like, you can actually see through the little mushrooms. I think it's just really charming and fun and interesting. However, if you were like, I want those to be different colors, you could of course stick a different color paper behind the little dots to then create that effect. So I don't have that paper in your kit, but you might have paper at home that you can do that technique with, and that would be very fun and would look very cute. So just so you know, now when you're putting our little our designs together, I would start maybe thinking about like what your little concept is going to look like, in what order you want to have your little gnomes and your little mushrooms. So I like to have my little gnomes, since I have two gnomes, one with a blue hat and one with a red hat, I'm going to have the center of my garland be a mushroom, and then I'm going to have the gnomes, one gnome on one side and one gnome on the other side. But this might be a good time to start thinking about what your concept is going to be for your layout. Okay? All right. So this paper here I'm using for the little mushroom stems is called AstroParch paper. It is wonderful, and it's really beautiful kind of modeled, but it's really great paper that you can use for a variety of different projects. I like that it also looks a little bit aged or a little bit more interesting. It's not so boring. Sometimes I have people ask me, hey, do you cut on the line or outside the line or inside the line? For this technique, for what we're doing, I would say if you have the ability to cut with just inside the pencil line, that would actually be best. That way you don't see the pencil marks. However, if you do end up seeing the pencil marks, you can always erase those, or you can put... Okay, so once you have all of your bits and pieces out, you have your little hat, you have your little beards, your little mushroom toppers, and your little stems, and then these are the little gnome noses, and these are the little tops of their little floppy hats. Once you have all of those things, now it is time to start putting it together. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is get out your white glue, but also you're going to want to plug in your hot glue gun. So we have our gnome beards, our hat, traditional hat plus a floppy hat, our tops of our mushrooms, and all of our little mushroom stems, as well as little toppers for our little hat, and then of course the little gnome noses. Okay, here we go. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our white glue. We're going to put some glue on the top of our little stem here, and then we're going to stick on our little mushrooms. So you have to kind of figure out which stems and which mushrooms are going to go best together. All right, they're very fun and very cute. So adorable. All right, and this little guy. You don't need very much glue to stick those down. Okay. Got one left. If there's any pencil marks, you want to put the pencil marks on the back side so you can't see those. Okay, so we have all my little mushrooms. So fun, so cute. All right, now let's start putting together our cute little gnomes. So we put a little line of glue at the top of the little beard, and then we stick on the cute little hat. And bring this down a little bit, so then that way the hat is all the way down, so then that way it's just hanging over the edge of the beard just a tiny little bit. And then this is the cute gnome nose. That's going to go right in the center. Adorable. All right, and then I'm going to put a little dot of glue on the end over here, and that's going to be for the little bauble that goes on the end of the floppy hat. All right, So now that we have all of our little gnomes glued together with their little noses and we have all their little mushrooms, now we're going to be using this little piece right here, this fuzzy ribbon, and that's going to be the garland piece. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half until you find the middle, and then you have to kind of think about your layout here, which mushroom is going to be in the center, okay? And then I usually do a mushroom in the center, and then I usually put a gnome on the left and right, and then I kind of just organize how I want to have the order, in which case my mushrooms are going to go on the left and right, okay? So kind of think about that. Okay, so now we're going to use our hot glue. We're going to put a dot of glue right at the top of this little mushroom, and we're going to find the center of our garland, and we're going to stick that on. All right, so a tiny little dot of glue, and then we're going to take our garland, and we're going to find the center, and we're going to stick that garland onto that little dot of glue. Okay. All right, so then that way, we flip this over, it can hang from that little garland. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now we have to think about left and right. I'm going to put of course, I'll put my gnome on one side and the other gnome on the other side. So we're just going to continue to put our little garland together. So I'm going to flip these again upside down. I'm going to put a tiny little dot of glue at the top of this little bauble of this little gnome here. And we'll stick that garland on top of that without burning ourselves. And here I'm going to stick the glue at the top of this little floppy hat. And we'll stick that in place. And then we're just going to go ahead and scoot this over. And I'm going to do my next one. I'm going to do this cute little mushroom. So again, flipping it to the back side. A little dot of hot glue at the top of there. And then we'll stick the little garland on there. And then we'll figure out our last little mushroom here. And I'm going to put a little dot, oh, flip this to the back side, a little dot of glue right there at the top of that mushroom. Tiniest little bit. And then stick the garland there. All right. And luckily the hot glue will dry fairly quickly. All right, now to our other side. Again, the back side of our mushrooms. I think I'm going to do the red one next. Put a tiny dot of hot glue and we'll stick that garland there. There we have our cute little mushroom and gnome garland. Isn't that so adorable and so much fun? I hope you guys had a great time making it. Thank you so much for joining me for our little craft today, friends. We'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.